how eating a frog can help you avoid burnout. Scratch that. How eating that frog can help you avoid burning out. What am I talking about? Stick around. How do tech lovers, entrepreneurs, and busy freelancers stay productive without drowning in bad tech, apps, or chaos? That's the question, and this YouTube channel will give you the answers. My name is Nick, and this is Let's Chat Tech with Nick. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Nick Russell, and this is Let's Chat Tech with Nick. More so this week, we're going to be talking about productivity. Now, I want to first talk about a YouTuber by the name of Ali Abdaal. And I first discovered Ali on YouTube probably about 1.5 to 2 years ago, just about the time where he launched his book, Feel Good Productivity. Now, Ali used to be an ER doctor, and he's turned into a productivity expert, and he's grew an entire business from that. Now, the reason for this video was because I saw one of his podcast interviews with somebody, and he talked about his time as an ER doctor. Now, in this podcast, he talked about when he looked out into the waiting room, he saw an endless line of patients, and he thought there's no way he could possibly get through all of those patients. But he wanted to try. So instead of seeing a patient however long it took, he tried to see a patient in less time to get through more patients in a day. Say, for example, he saw 10 patients in one day, he bumped that up to 13 patients the next day. But yet there was still a long line of people in the waiting room. And it wasn't until another doctor said, "You're never going to get through. That waiting room is always going to be full." Now, it got me thinking. Way back when, I used to work for a company called The Beer Store, a retail outlet here in Ontario where we were owned by the brewers and we sold beer. So one of the busiest times, as you can imagine, are throughout the holidays. And one holiday stuck in my mind, and that was the Easter weekend. Now, I was at one of the busiest stores in our area, and on the Easter weekend, we were closed on the Friday for Good Friday and then the Sunday for Easter Sunday. But the Saturday, we were open. So being closed on either side of that Saturday, you could imagine it was a very busy day. People were trying to stock back up from what they drank the previous day, bring in their empties for returns, and then buy more beer. Now, typically we would serve about 100 to 120 customers an hour. On this day, we were 300 to 350 customers an hour, and it was just an endless line of people. And I remember specifically getting so flustered and stressed that we were so busy and we couldn't keep up. But with teamwork, we got through the day, and at the end of the day, we had a lot of fun, and the store was in great shape for the following Monday. So how does that relate to entrepreneurs? What does that have to do with eating a frog, and what does that have to do with productivity? Well, I want to talk about that in this video. So as entrepreneurs, our to-do lists are never ending. And if you say you got through your to-do list and you have nothing left to do, then you're just not doing it right. I'm sorry that might be blunt, but as entrepreneurs, as freelancers, there's always something to do. Now, the difficult part is actually figuring out that you can walk away after completing your most important tasks and leave other things to the next day. And this is where what Ali talked about on that podcast, and he transitioned the waiting room into his task list, and how I can transition my endless lobby of beer buying customers into my to-do list. Now, how I get through this is using the Eat the Frog method from Brian Tracy. Now, that's another one of my favorite books. And the concept is you have your to-do list and you break that down into the top 3 tasks. Now, these tasks, the frogs, should be your biggest, most important, and hardest tasks. So once you write out your to-do list for the day, you prioritize it to see what needs to get done that day, and then that'll go at the top, the second, third, and so on. Now, I do this every single day, and I use Notion for that, and we'll get to that in a second. But what Ollie talked about and what it made me realize is when you're doing your to-do list, as long as you get your top 3 tasks, those frogs, done, that should be considered a successful and productive day. The other tasks are the not meaningless, but they're the less important tasks for that day. So say you have 5 tasks that have to get done. Break it down into the top 3. Those are the ones you absolutely have to. And then you can get to the rest of those tasks. Everything else after that is just a bonus. And walking away at the end of the day, realizing that if you still have, say, 6 or 7 tasks to do, but you got the 3 tasks, the 3 frogs done, realizing that as a successful day, it's going to help you out a long way. Now, I want to talk about how you can set up that mindset, realizing that you had a successful day next. So for me, this is where Notion comes in. Now, in Notion, I've built out an entire planning hub. Now, in my planning hub, I have a yearly review and goal setting template. I have one for a quarterly, each quarter to review and plan ahead for the next, monthly review and planning templates, as well as a weekly one. But I want to focus on my daily planning template. Now, in this template, I have a couple things to start off my morning. The first thing I do is I talk about what my intentions are for that day. The second, I talk about what I'm grateful for. So get you in that right mindset to start the day. And then along those lines, I write down an affirmation for the day. And then this is where Eat the Frog comes in. I have 2 sections of to-do lists. The first one, which is actually second, it's underneath the top 3, but I have the main section of my to-do list area on that template, and that's where I write all of my tasks that need to get done that day. From there, I'll go through those tasks and I'll take the top 3 tasks that I have to get done. If those don't get done, it wasn't a productive day. And then if I complete those, I just keep going through that list because I've already prioritized it and rearranged it into the order it needs to get done. Now, from there, I have an agenda where I can write down my meetings. And then at the end of the day, it's something that's just as important as starting today. It's writing down the top 3 wins for the day. Now, this is something that everybody should celebrate. Whether you use Notion, whether you use pen and paper, it doesn't matter. As long as you're celebrating your wins for the day, it's reassuring yourself that you had a good day. Next, I'm going to talk about where I was uncomfortable and where I didn't meet my goals. So even if I did complete those top 3 and I even got through most of my to-do list for that day and it was considered a productive day, at some point, somewhere throughout the day, we've all gone a little bit away from our intentions, from our goals. So jot down where that happened, where you were uncomfortable, so that way the next spot where you write down where you could be better tomorrow comes in. That helps set you up in the right mindset for the next day so you can be just as successful. So that's it. Now, if you start positioning yourself every single day and realizing that you're not going to get through your full to-do list, and you use something as simple as the Eat the Frog method from Brian Tracy, that's going to help you avoid burning out. The more you stress about getting every single task on that list, the more weight, more stress you're going to put on yourself, and eventually you're going to burn out. And believe me, I've been there. It is not fun. So focus on those top 3 tasks, get those done, and consider that a successful and productive day. And with all of that, what I'll do is if you want that Notion template that I was talking about, my Notion Planning Hub, I'll put the link in the description below. And if you like the video, feel free to like, subscribe, and all that other fun stuff. And I'll see you on the next video.